Right around Thanksgiving, I read an article in the Seattle Times listing the symptoms of ovarian cancer. And there were 6 or 7 of them, and I had all but one. I had stage 4, and I was in the hospital until New Year's Eve. So this coming December 31st, 2016, will be my 17th anniversary.
I was diagnosed in September of 2007, so I'm a little over 9 years out. I've had 3 remissions after my first diagnosis, 4 surgeries, 75 plus chemos. Along the line, I participated in 3 different studies. The one I'm on now being the most successful, a little over 2 years remission at this point.
Marcia, my first wife, passed away in 1993. There was a vacuum on how to treat ovarian cancer. I realized then that we have to do something better. So I really shift gears and started doing clinical trials in ovarian cancer research.
Watching my dad go through this, most of the time I didn't realize that my mom wasn't going to survive this. It's only when I look back and I really realized that he probably knew early on she wasn't going to survive long-term with it, that I really think about how hard it must have been. I'm not sure I thought about 20 years plus into the future, even at 80 years old, almost 81, my dad's still working to cure ovarian cancer.
The influence now of Rivkin, starting from a local organization that wanted to raise awareness about ovarian cancer screening, into an organization that is funding major labs worldwide that are starting to make an impact on this disease in terms of developing new therapies. The influence of this organization is growing tremendously. If we're going to make advances in this disease and we're going to make big impact changes, the only way that's going to happen is starting at the bench, which is basic science research.
This is what we would call high risk, high gain. This may be a total bust, but this may be the beginnings of something big. We're funding people in Europe, in Australia, in Asia, at some of the top schools in the nation. We've had numerous drugs come into the treatment of ovarian cancer, from PARP inhibitors, which are really showing efficacy in patients with BRCA1 gene mutations, to these immunotherapy drugs that are rapidly coming into the clinic. The Rivkin Center has really become the go-to place for this type of discovery financing to really debut these new ideas.
The fundamental idea behind the seed money is to fund new investigators, get their ideas off the ground, apply for NIH grants, and get their labs fully funded. Without investigators that are solely dedicated to ovarian cancer, it's going to be difficult to make an impact. When you look at ovarian cancer compared to breast cancer and education in women about the disease, obviously we've lagged way behind. CAN for the Rivkin Center has been just an incredible complement to everything that's already being done. If women only knew that if their mother had breast cancer at a young age or ovarian cancer at a young age, or if women only knew that if they had more than one first-degree relative with ovarian cancer, they need to see a genetic counselor, we could really make an impact on this disease. Through CAN, we are going to be able to educate thousands of women, young women, underprivileged women, women that otherwise would not be able to be afforded this education. Who knows where this is going to go from here? The future is bright. The goal is ultimately the cure. When you see these women that I have treated and they're coming in and seeing me in the clinic 10, 12, now remarkably 15 years after their surgery, and they had advanced stage disease and they're cured, we know that we're making a difference. But as importantly, I think seeing the women that the disease does recur, which is unfortunately the case about 75% of the time, seeing these women just get back up and get in the chemo chair and keep on going, the courage that these women display with incredible adversity, it's very inspiring, it's very meaningful, and I just feel incredibly fortunate that I get to kind of work with these women every day.